above gave man an arm of iron, so he could do his job and never shirk. The Lord above gave man an arm of iron, but with a little bit of luck, someone else will do the blinking work. With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit of luck, you'll never work. The Lord above made man to help his neighbor, no matter where, on land or sea and foam. The Lord above made man to help his neighbor, but with a little bit of luck, with a little bit of luck, when he comes around you won't be home. With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit of luck you won't be home. Oh, you can walk the straight and narrow, but with a little bit of luck you'll run amok. The gentle sex was made for man to marry, to tend his needs and see his food is cooked. The gentle sex was made for man to marry, but with a little bit of luck, with a little bit of luck, you can have it all and not get hooked. With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit of luck you won't get hooked. With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit of blooming luck. Oh, you can walk the straight and narrow, but with a little bit of luck you'll run amok. A man was made to help support his children, which is the right and proper thing to do. A man was made to help support his children, but with a little bit of luck, with a little bit of luck, now others start supporting you. With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit of luck they'll work for you. With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit of blooming luck.
Influence, influence.
Now many parents throughout the nation trying to give their children a better education. It helps them later on in life, there is no doubt, but there's a little something that no one can do without. Oh, influence, influence. You gotta have a little bit of influence. If you want plenty of shillings and pence, then you gotta have a little bit of influence.
Then you gotta have a little bit of influence.
When I retire, send a boss who will take my place is my one concern. So here's an opportunity for you, my lad. And the fellow he was talking to said, "Thank you, Dad." Influence, influence. You gotta have a little bit of influence. If you want plenty of shillings and pence, then you've gotta have a little bit of influence.
Then you gotta have a little bit of influence.
A lady was taking her driving test. She hadn't a clue, but she was doing her best. She scared the instructor right out of his life, but she passed with flying colors 'cause she was the boss's wife. Oh, influence, influence. You gotta have a little bit of influence. If you want plenty of shillings and pence, then you've gotta have a little bit of influence.
Then you gotta have a little bit of influence.
Some of the loveliest girls ever seen were in a competition for a beauty queen. I was the judge, and here's the surprise. A girl I met in my hotel walked off with the prize. Oh, influence, influence. You got to have a little bit of influence. If you want plenty of shillings and pence, then you've got to have a little bit of influence.
Then you gotta have a little bit of influence.
You You may have lots of talent, but they couldn't care less. It's who you know, not what you know, that spells success. I asked a star how she got to the top of the tree. She said, Maxie, I will tell you very confidentially. Oh, influence, yeah, influence. Yeah, gotta have a little bit of influence. If you want plenty of shillings and pence, well, you've gotta have a little bit of influence. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. So here we go with the first song, a little song entitled, Last Night I Was in the Mood, Tonight I Must Get Some Sleep. When the nights get nice and dark, I always go in the park. I only go there for a lark, passing the time away. I hear lovers bill and coo. You'd be surprised if I told you all the naughty things they do while passing the time away. The other night, a loving couple courting close to me. She was just turned 21, he was 83. The rain came down, they got no damp. They both sat down, the grass was damp. He couldn't get up, he'd got the cramp, passing the time. I know exactly what you're saying to yourself. You're wrong. I know what you're saying. Oh, you wicked lot. You're the kind of people who get me a bad name. Here's a funny thing. Now, this is a funny thing. I went home the other night. There's a funny thing. And I went in the back way, through the kitchen, through the dining room, the drawing room. And there's a fella standing there, not a stitch on. Can you imagine that, lady? There's your memory, girl. He hasn't got a stitch up. I called the wife in. I said, who's this? She said, don't lose your temper, Miller. Don't go raving mad. I said, I'm only asking a fair question. Who is it? She said, he's a nudist and he's coming to use a phone. There's a clever one from the wife, eh? So tonight, I'm going to do for you something entirely different. I'm going to do a monologue tonight, entitled, What Juju Wants, Juju Must Have. I don't know what it is, and I'm really not bothered. And I should want a little assistance from the band. So, either, could you play Hearts and Flowers or Monastery Garden? Now, you have a choice, and you can pick which one you like. I won't force it on you. Any one you like, Hearts and Flowers or Monastery Garden. Now, what do you fancy?
Hearts and Flowers.
You fancy Hearts and Flowers?
Yes,
you don't fancy Monastery Garden?
No.
You're like me, you're too old, you can't get over the wall, that's your trouble. Hearts and Flowers it is then, Hearts and Flowers. That's nice. She was but a village maiden. Who's to say she was to blame? But alas, a wicked squire took away her honest name. So she journeyed up to London, thinking to forget her shame, when another wicked squire took away her other. Here, this is... Have you stopped? Ivor, you finished? You've stopped with it?
Yes.
You finished?
Yes, finished.
Well, then I'll carry on without you, shall I? I'll carry on as though nothing had happened. Like the girl who got up and walked away. I like the girls who do. I like the girls who don't. I hate the girl who says she will, and then she says she won't. But the girl I like the best of all, and I think you'll say I'm right, is the girl who says she never does, but she looks as though she... Here, this... Now, when I started in this business many years ago, I started in circus. I'm not a stereotype comedian, don't think that for one moment. When I come out here, I don't know what I'm going to say, but I wouldn't say I don't care, because I do care. I do care. I started in Billy Smart's circus, Billy Smart. Not the Billy Smart who is today, his father, because I'm much older than Billy. And I remember his father said to me one day, he said, Maxie, would you like to be a lion tamer? I said, I've no desire. He said, there's money in it. I said, what do I have to do? He said, all you've got to do is to walk in the lion's cage and put your head in its mouth. I said, I should think so. He said, are you scared? I said, I'm not scared, I'm just careful. He said, I shouldn't be scared of that lion, he said. That lion's as tame as a kitten, was brought up on milk. I said, so was I, but eat meat. So we advertised for a lion tamer, and a beautiful blonde came along, like they are today. You've seen them, well out in front, a lovely roll desk. And that's a lot of madam and all. That's the ironing board stuck up there. So he said to this blonde, will you go into the cage? Said, I'll go in because I'm a lion tamer. And she walked into the cage. And as she walked into the cage, the lion made a dash for her. And she thought quick, undid a zip, and all her clothes fell off. And she stood there, she came to the world. And the lion, he stopped. Then he started to walk towards her. And when he got near enough, he started to kiss her. And he kissed her all over. And the governor said, would you do that? I said, yes, get the lion out. Now, there's a soldier standing in the dock. The judge is at the back, the jury over there, the defending counsel down here. The judge said to the soldier, this is a very serious case. We should have to hold this in camera. And the soldier said, what does that mean? And the judge said, it won't make any difference to you. The jury, they know what it means. Defending counsel, he knows what it means. And I know what it means. Clear the court. And he said to the soldier, tell me exactly what happened. So the soldier said, well, he said, I met this girl, he said, and she asked me to see her home. She told me she lived out in the country. Well, I took her the short way across the field. And when I got to the centre field, I don't know what came over me, but I got hold of her. No rough stuff, no rough stuff. That came later, see? And I started to kiss her and she passed out. She passed right out. Then after that, it was all la-dee-da-dee-da. And the judge said, all what? The soldier said, all la-dee-da-dee-da. And the judge said, what does that mean? The soldier said, well, the jury, they know what it means. And the defending counsel, he knows what it means. And if you'd have been there with your camera, you'd have known. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Now, my recording company asked me to do a song like my old mum. And you know, my old mum was a great seller and a very good song. Probably lasts for years. I haven't finished with it, but I've written one, and it's called Be Sincere. A beautiful song and beautifully sung. Be sincere in everything you do. Be sincere is all I ask of you. If you make a promise, just try to see it through. For if you break a promise, a heart is broken too. Be sincere, and as through life you go, there's one golden rule I know. Do the same to others as you would have them do, and the world will be sincere with you. If you make a promise, just try to see it through. For if you break a promise, a heart is broken too. Be sincere, and as through life you go, there one golden rule I know. Do the same to others as you would have them do.